How did Ed use anger in political strategy? Steve O'Connell, Boston, Massachusetts.
There was a couple things around anger and political strategy. More than anger, I think what Ed would always try and figure out was if his disability made somebody uncomfortable, he was going to use that to his advantage. And we had ways and actual tools that he used specifically to make him look more disabled in certain situations with certain people when he knew that would be to his advantage. Had this little red checkered blanket that was pathetic looking. I mean, it just made you, and he'd have me tuck that across his lap, and he'd raise his legs. There was a certain angle at his legs that made him look very disabled, and he could put his back at a certain, on the power recliner on his wheelchair, and he'd put that back in a certain way. And he would use his mouthpiece. He had a respirator that just blew air. What was wrong with Ed from his post-polio, his diaphragm wouldn't draw the air, so he needed this thing to blow air into his lungs. He didn't need oxygen, he just needed air blown into his lungs. And how he would use that to time his words, he could hold it in his teeth like a pipe and talk pretty regular. But if he was in a situation where he could tell the person was uncomfortable with his disability, he could break it up so that it would be, if he were going to say, that you're going to hurt a lot of disabled people with that decision. He would lean back and put the thing in and say, you're going to hurt a lot of people with that political decision. And I mean, it was like, oh, it was like pulling somebody's heart out. It was like, and then we'd leave and he'd go, did you see him fall for that? That was great, wasn't it? I was like, you're the best, Ed, you're the best. You got him great. And he would use surroundings. If he sensed that you were the person he was dealing with was uncomfortable with his disability, he would use it to his advantage. And he would do that in budget meetings with guys from Capitol Hill working on more money for the disabled. He would get funding when other departments were getting cut, because he would use that technique of saying, do you really want me and a lot of people just like me protesting you at the next election? And they'd be like, you could see their head rolling around. Oh my gosh, no way. Not a problem. We'll back this bill. We'll support this. No problem at all. So that's what he would look for. He would look for any edge he could get. Anything he could use his disability to his advantage, that's what he thought you should do. And he thought everybody should do that. Whether you're disabled or not, you should be looking for things to use to your advantage politically.